With mandatory minicamp, OTAs, and rookie minicamp officially in the books, we are starting to see a confidence level of Pete Carroll in this front office. They are starting to believe that they may have an elite draft class on their hands, and there's already signs starting to point to this draft class could fix and change everything for the Raiders organization going forward. And in this video, what I wanted to do is kind of break down some of these rookies that are flying onto the scene and making a difference. It could potentially even be day one starters. In a video I posted a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Dont'e Thornton potentially being a day one outside wide receiver for them, and nothing has changed. They still believe Dont'e Thornton with that 6'5", 4.3, 4.4 speed is going to be a difference maker on day one for this football team. And Geno Smith has came out right away and said, hey, this guy is a target, okay? Compares a lot to DK Metcalf and Calvin Johnson, some other really great wide receivers that have played in the NFL. But there's also a lot more, right? We could sit here and talk about Ashton. We could talk about, Caleb Rogers, who started to look really good, right? Darien Porter. There's guys everywhere in this class that are looking amazing. And none of it matters until training camp and then when those pads come on, right? But we're going to break down everything you need to know about this rookie class right now. Stay tuned. They're confident. They like what these guys are bringing, and man, are they going to compete right away. Before we dive into the video, comment down below who you believe out of this rookie class, outside of Ashton Jeanty, who do you think will have the biggest impact on this football team next year? Outside of Ashton, who do you think it will be? Darien Porter, Dont'e, Jack Bech, right? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's dive into this Raiders video. Now, what's crazy is when you look at this roster right now and you look at the players that they've added in this draft class, a lot of them are either day one starters or day one backups, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, we knew coming into the offseason that the Raiders had a lot of work to do to fix this roster, to ensure that they were going to be a competitive football team going into the season. And you look at Dont'e Thornton, who's went from maybe a wide receiver 4-5 to potentially the wide receiver 2 within this offense. Jack Bech is a day one backup for this team. Tommy Mellott, a former quarterback, looks like he has worked his way all the way up the depth chart, working with the twos, right? From there, Charles Grant, the backup left tackle. Caleb Rogers, the backup right guard. I mean, these guys are working their way up the depth chart extremely fast. Cam Miller, yes, he's quarterback 3 right now, but we've heard rumblings of Aiden O'Connell potentially being traded. Ashton, right, he's going to be your day one starter. Defensively, you add a ton of talent through free agency with Jermaine Pratt, Lana Roberts, Devin White, Lonnie Johnson, Eric Stokes, Jeremy Chin, but also Darien Porter. Right, you got Tonka and JJ, who will probably, fit into this defense right away. They haven't moved up yet, but once those pads come on, I guarantee you they move up this depth chart. But let's just start off at the top. Ashton Jeanty. Ashton is a different level of elite. I mean, ranked the #1 player in this combine in terms of production score, especially at the running back position. 95th total score in the NFL draft combine. He was amazing. But when you look at his strengths as a running back, this dude has some generational talent. I think he's going to be able to fit into this offense right away and actually fix everything for this Las Vegas Raiders team. Here's why. When you look at the Raiders from last season, their offense was terrible. 29th in overall points per game, 29th in touchdowns per game, 30th in third down conversion percentage, 29th in points per play. But look at this, 32nd in yards per carry, 30th in rushes per game because they're always just losing, 32nd in terms of rush yards per game, 28th in rushing touchdowns per game. This might be one of the most horrendous rushing offenses that I've seen in a very long time. It's because their offense was so bad. Now, before we get into a little bit of why I think this offense is going to be completely different, literally 180, completely different. Do me a big favor, hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Raiders throughout the entirety of this process. The offseason training camp, right? Preseason, going to be breaking down some all 22 coaches film, and then regular season, same thing, right? We got you guys covered join the family, turn on post notifications, and let's get back into the video. Let's talk about it. One of the main reasons why their rush offense was so bad was because look at this, right? They come out and you got 3 wide receivers on the football field. You got 1 tight end. Yes, you are in, right behind the center in the single back set. However, right, look at the defense. Look at how many guys are kind of up in this box with another guy biting up as well. I mean, they were just saying, I dare you to pass the ball, because Aiden O'Connell, maybe not the best quarterback in the world, but now you have Geno Smith there, right? And Ashton Jeanty, who can create yards after first contact, which is going to be amazing. I think that's going to help the offense right away. So now, when defenses are stacking the box, right? When defenses are doing this right here, now you have, let's say, Dont'e Thornton and Jacoby Myers and maybe Trey Tucker or Jack Bech here in the slot, whoever it may be, with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer as tight ends, right? They're going to have to stack the box to stop Ashton Jeanty. I guarantee it, right? But now, when they're stacking the box, now you have one, a single high safety set, right? This guy's moving here. This guy's biting down the box. Whenever you have one high safety, this turns into yes-no read for the quarterback. I believe with Ashton Jeanty's presence alone, teams are going to have to stack the box, which are going to force a lot of one-on-one matchups with Dont'e Thornton and Jacoby Myers on the outside. A lot of 50-50 balls for Dont'e Thornton and Jack Bech and Brock Bowers. I think this offense is going to have a ton of unpredictability, but more importantly, versatility. Look at this play, right? They run it, boom, nothing there. Ashton Jeanty has the ability to understand, okay, once I get this ball, I need to make a guy miss. I mean, and right here, there's nothing really there, but I think because of Geno Smith and his ability to pass the ball, I think it's going to force defenses to change a lot of things. They're not going to be able to stack the box, and if they do stack the box, I think you have a lot of outside weapons. If you don't stack the box, they're going to hand the ball off to Jeanty. That's what I think. So if I'm being honest, Ashton Jeanty, day 1 starter. Dont'e Thornton, day 1 starter. Jack Bech going to play a lot this season, okay? I'm not just saying that. I think he will play a lot. Charles Grant, I think, is a great plug-and-play player if you need him to, or you can move him over to right tackle if he's comfortable with that. I think he can do that as well. I think Caleb Rogers is fine. Defensively, Darien Porter is a difference maker. Now, I did make a whole video on Darien Porter, but he's a freak. Al Davis type of pick, lengthy, fast, great in zone coverage. I think is going to be a perfect fit for what Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham want to do defensively. And again, we already talked about 4 or 5 rookies that are going to be day 1 impacts. We talked about Ashton, Dont'e, Darien Porter as potential day 1 starters. Jack Bech, another potential day 1 starter within this football team. That is 4 guys already that are going to make a difference. And then you talk about Tonka and JJ, who I believe with Christian Wilkins potentially missing this season, they're going to play a lot this year, okay? Now you have 2 more guys on top of that that are going to play in year 1. Guys, you don't see, outside of maybe 2 or 3 guys, you don't see too many players coming out of an NFL draft that play a good amount in year 1. A lot of guys are just developmental pieces. Maybe the Packers last year are an exception to that because they did play a lot of their rookies because they needed to defensively. But the Raiders might even play all of their rookies. I think Cam Mellott could play a little bit. Maybe not, Tommy Mellott, not Cam Miller. I think Cam Miller might not play at all, right? Depending on quarterback situation, if injuries or whatnot. But you could see 6, 7 of these guys getting solid playing time this year, and they believe this draft class has the potential to be generational, and I believe it, right? Now, if you want me to break down any individual players, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. But I'm telling you right now, this draft class, they believe, different.